Hey everyone, today I'm doing a little different. I'm doing 5 decks that I'm making for my dad to play on the ladder. My dad is a occasional legend player, so these are decks I all think are good at him. I choose the decks that I wouldn't think are too hard or too complicated or too much APM. So I didn't, for example, pick Naga Demon Hunter because I think that's not a deck he would do well. So just decks that I thought would be good for him, and that I also wouldn't have to craft too much. So my dad is a free-to-play player himself. I have bought him cards for Christmas presents and birthday presents, but he's never actually spent a single dollar of his own money on Hearthstone, only my money. So that just shows you that like you don't really need to have, I think he got 115 packs from this expansion, which got him a lot of the base, and then he has just a journal collection he keeps up with, and so we're going to show you. So he got to Legend with this deck, which is very similar, but I got him a better, sort of more up-to-date version. So this is the version he ran, but I got Aggro Paladin. This is probably a more up-to-date, a little bit more, slightly more optimized version of his deck that I think will just do slightly better on the current ladder. But the same kind of principle, Garden's Graces, Countess, Pure Paladin. I think it's a little bit easier, and the stats put it a little bit higher, at least the climb, even though I think for the highest legend I prefer the other version. I think a lot of players will do really well with this. My dad went 6-0 with a worse version of this to get to legend. So deck's really, really good right now and doesn't run any new cards. So so next deck, this is my other tempo deck I'm kind of recommending for him, is Hound Hunter. He does have to craft quite a few epics for this. So that's a little bit, but Agromar is a really good craft, a really good Titan. I expect to be in pretty much every Hunter deck for the next year. And these Absorber Paratite and Bigger Jogger are not actually that good. So these are the risky crafts, but if he wants to, this is, I think, a really solid sort of fun Hound deck that I had on my YouTube channel previously. I think a really good craft. He already had Hope. He didn't disenchant it. Maybe you've already disenchanted Hope, but the bottom line is, I think this is, so you have one. This is a little bit more of an expensive craft compared to the other ones we're doing. But yeah, I think this is still a pretty good tempo deck if he doesn't want to just play Paladin. Next, I've got Highlander Shaman. I think this is a really good craft. Right now, this version needs his Trusty Companion. This is the so this one runs turns of tides. I'm actually going to change this and put Ignis in from my recent YouTube video. All he has to really do is craft Dr. Holiday and Reno Lone Ranger, sorry. And Reno Lone Ranger is the must craft of the expansion. Just craft this card. If you don't have 1600 dust, this Hearthstone is not the game for you. This card is just like a must craft. I mean, unless you just want to play all budget aggro decks and not play Highlander, it's just the craft to do. And Dr. Holiday, just I think, a really, really strong card in Highlander Shaman. It's never going to not make the cut in Highlander Shaman. So really, really good card. So I think a fun archetype. I was playing it the other night. Really good time. So next I've got Highlander Paladin. This is another Highlander build. He's going to have to craft Amethyst the Peacekeeper. To be honest, he could probably cut that if he really didn't want to, if you're really on a budget. But once again, another deck, he just pretty much has to craft Reno and one legendary. And Showdown is such a good craft right now. This card could easily get nerfed, so really, really safe craft for his other cards. So another deck I think that is really, really strong. Both these decks had absurd win rates at Diamond through Legend, above 60%, really, really dominating the ranks. So decks that are absolutely Legend ready. And this is probably one of the weaker decks currently, but if you're doing Arena Jackson, you can craft Phi, and I think the infinite value from Reastraza really nice. So once again, it's, and I think it says he has to craft Sir Finley, but I'm surprised he doesn't have Sir Finley. This is just a really good card, so I think it's a good card for him to have just in his arsenal. You can see he's got 1600 dust, so he can definitely afford this. So these are the decks that I'm recommending for my dad to play on that climb to legend. So yeah, for next month, and also just to enjoy now at legend. So I think these are all good decks for him. So maybe you would like these decks, but once again, you want to find decks that you already have cards. So for example, even the Hound Hunter is a little bit iffy because you have to craft. He has to craft 4 epics. Oh, this is a rare. Never mind. But there's 2 epics that aren't that good. So, you know, if you have to craft, you know, let's say this is 20 out of 30, you have to craft a lot more. This is 26 out of 30. You know, you might choose depending on what cards you got naturally from your packs, and then craft a few key legendaries. Crafting entire deck from scratch is incredibly expensive, and I don't recommend it. So anyways, hope you guys like these decks. I hope my dad likes these decks, and I'll see you on the ladder.